Let's start out with a little experiment. Grab a sheet of paper, and on that sheet of paper, write your name at the top first. Then after that, write out a list of people who hold the greatest amount of value in your life. People whose opinion that you value very much. Then after that, take that sheet of paper and rip it in half. Then rip it in half again and again and again till you get to the smallest piece of paper that you possibly can. Maybe flip that piece of paper over and start that whole process over again, starting with you. Then try to write out that same list that you did before. What you're probably going to realize is at this point, the only name that's going to fit on that piece of paper is yours. That's exactly the mindset that we need to take when it comes to making personal decisions about our lives. Every decision starts with you, not the opinions of those people that you wrote on that piece of paper, not the opinions of your friends, your peers, or even your loved ones. The only opinion that matters is yours.
You out this world, need some space from me. I'm out here, girl. I'm back up in the street.
Living in this day and era, I'm starting to realize that it's really tough for us as people to actually make a decision in life that is truly our own, that truly comes from our own intuition, that hardly ever exists today. In some form or facet, our decisions are always influenced by somebody's opinion or by someone's thought. I mean, you see it on every single level. You see it when it comes to political representation. I got a quick story. I was talking to one of my friends the other day, and they were talking about why they are a Republican today, and they were going on and on about these talking points, saying, this, that, and the third. And as I was listening, I was realizing like none of those talking points actually identify with who you are economically today and socially today. So like, where are these passions coming from? And they came out and just said it like, oh no, my parents told me this is how I should vote. And I was like, wow, ever since we were kids, our parents' opinions have really crafted us into who we are as people. I mean, you see it on a social level, even something as simple as posting an Instagram picture. You may send to your friend first and say, what do you think? Even something as simple as that, we hardly ever make a decision on our own. Alright, so I am currently headed to hot yoga group session. And for me, that's a really big deal, man, because for all of my yogis out there, you probably can feel this, but sometimes going to like a group yoga session can be the toughest because like the space has become like super opinionated, you know what I mean? Like you go in there, you're just trying to get your work, you're just trying to get your vinyasas in, your flows in, and it can be very judgmental, you know what I mean? Like what you want out of the experience can sometimes be a little bit deterred by the opinions of other people around there. So it's a very big step for me this is like my third week in a row that I'm going to like this super experienced yoga class. And like I'm a young yogi, you know what I mean? I'm not a super pro, but so I'm in there with a lot of people that are like a lot better than me. But I gotta work through those opinions and I gotta get what I want out of it. This is a proud brother moment right now. I got my trainer in town, and guess what? He got his Dewey on, y'all.
Yeah,
He got the Dewey on.
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
Personally, when I think about prioritizing my passions in life over the opinions and thoughts of others about my passions, it sometimes can feel like tug of war, where you're pulling in one direction and then you suddenly get tugged in another direction, and where that tug is represented mostly is the pressures of public opinion. And public opinion is funny because it is kind of the judgment zone and the guidelines that tell us what is acceptable and what isn't acceptable in life. You see this represented most immediately on social media, what's acceptable to post, the whole 9 yards. And as people, I think it's tough for us sometimes to replace that form of measurement, because for so long, public opinion has served as a guideline and a measurement for self-identity. It tells us if we're good, it tells us if we're bad, and we can kind of become attached to that, because even from a young age, when you were toddlers, our self-identity was built upon the opinions of others, how our parents thought about us, how our teachers thought about us. So there's sort of a social attachment that comes along with that, why we're so dependent on the response and the opinions of others about what we're doing in life. But I've gotten to a point where I've built a lot of reassurance in myself, where I understand if I'm walking into a business meeting, it's only me. There's no opinions on my shoulders. There's no good devil, no bad devil, good angel on my shoulder that's giving me any advice. It's just me. Those opinions no longer exist in those type of realms. And when you isolate the issue to that format, you start to realize that your intuition and your beliefs are a powerful thing. I gotta be quiet. I got my buddy Kevin in town, and just about the only thing good about a self-quarantine with one other person is they make raw juice. That's good stuff. But he's gotta go soon.
Never wear black without the blue. Sell some blue. And I'm not the only one who remembers those commercials.
Hey, what's going on? My name's Kevin James, co-founder of Back of House, retail planner for a couple of different brands. I'm here on Durag Talk to pretty much, say F what people think.
Could you explain why it's important to stand on what you believe, as opposed to, going with the wind of opinions sometimes that sway a lot of people's thoughts and ambitions?
I think it's necessary to go with what you always believe, because I believe everyone has their time. So I'll say when I first started in retail, actually, in 2003, 2004, it actually wasn't as accepted for a male to be so deep into fashion. But because it was something I was passionate about and I can see where it was going, I stuck with it. And, it kind of took for certain rappers or athletes to kind of move into that same lane for it to become more accepted or more viewed as accepted. Even though that was years ago, if I would have given up, I could have been on a whole nother path career-wise, but I stuck with it, and now it's my time. So I think that's why that's so important.
You cannot live a brave life without disappointing someone. On the road of living a life of self-fulfillment, choosing what you want in life over opinions, you're going to disappoint someone. And I think that's where a lot of the hesitancy lies within us as individuals when it comes to really going out and doing what we want in life. We may have that family member that's saying, please don't do this. I would really prefer if you choose to do something else. I don't think this is smart, Amir. I don't think you're making the best decision. But deep down, your gut is telling you, this is what I want. This is what I believe in. This is where my passion is. And even if I make the wrong decision, let the lesson be the great gift that I receive in this moment. It's a brave and it is a courageous act to choose what you love over the opinions of people. So I encourage all of you guys to go out and make sure you're doing what you love and you're not making decisions solely off the opinions that are happening around you. That was Durag Talk. I'll see you guys later.